Are your perfectly worded affirmations actually the reason why your manifestation is still stuck? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact mindset shift you're going to need to stop the delays and the illusions of having them. And most people are paralyzed by linguistic superstition, obsessing over the implications of every word of every sentence, petrified and terrified that one wrong word will reset your clock on the manifestations and have more delays. And I'm going to show you how to move away and free yourself of that language management and to mastering your energetic signal. Because the delay that you're experiencing isn't so much caused by what you're saying, it's actually caused by what your self-concept is doing with what you're saying. Most people in this manifestation space have been taught to watch your words. Be careful what you say. It's not here yet. Well, they would assume that you're creating a delay, more of the separation, the illusion of the separation. And if you also say it's not here yet, then you're telling yourself and everyone else that you don't have it yet. Now, don't get me wrong, there is truth in watching your words. Absolutely. The implication of the words does carry a frequency, a certain vibration, also your level of awareness. Your state of consciousness does respond to the language you speak externally and internally. But here's where it gets a little sideways. It's when people take this teaching and turn it into word management, something to do and manage the words that you say and police them in every aspect. They become obsessive over every phrase, every affirmation, every statement they've made internally and externally, and they've completely missed the mark. And what you have to understand is your words, as much as you've been told, is not what creates your reality. The weak self-concept underneath all the affirmations, underneath all the techniques and all the statements you're doing is what is shaping your reality, creating that reality from that standpoint. The words that you're saying are just a symptom. And some of the most respected creators in our space, in our reality creation manifestation space here on YouTube, teach this idea: be it before the world proves it to you. And I'm going to say that one more time. Be it before the world proves it to you. Now, if we're talking about the implication of words, I want you to notice something when you say that. And notice how that phrase at the tail end of it, before the world proves it to you, still implies a waiting. It still implies that at some point the world is going to prove something to you. It still implies a sequence. You be it first, then reality moves and shifts, and then it proves it to you, and the proof arrives. But you're the I am. Being the true identity of I am does not negotiate with any external outside circumstances. True being of the I am does not need to wait for proof or evidence. And true being of the I am doesn't even frame it in a matter of time. There is no before or after it, be it before it or be it after it, because all there is the present now. The now moment is all you have. There is no past or future. You don't be it before proof, and you don't be it until proof. You just be the I am. Be it at all times. No conditions, no circumstances, no illusionary world having to confirm anything to you. Now, when you say be it before the world proves it to you, the moment you add that phrase of before the world proves it to you, you've already created that gap of separation. And by doing so, you've already implied the very exact delay that you've been trying to escape. So if the words aren't the signal, then what is the signal? Your feeling state, your energetic charge within, the frequency that you are actually operating at in your state of consciousness right now in the present moment now. And that is truly the energetic charge the universe is actually listening to. That is the command it is waiting for. Not the affirmations you said this morning or the visualizations you did last night. The actual feeling state, the actual feeling energetic state that you have in the present moment now. That's why you can actually have two people say the exact same words and get two different results in their reality creation. The words might be identical, but their frequency, their awareness, their vibration underneath all those words are completely different. Let's say you have one person that says the money is coming, and they say that from a state of consciousness already abundant. That person would be already certain and already claiming that it's done, already embodying the self concept of one whom wealth materializes for naturally. That person's words and the way that they implement themselves carries that level of frequency. Now, let's take another person that says the exact same words: money is coming, but they say this from a state of consciousness of lack, of delay, of separation, from the assumptions that it isn't here yet, from a self concept that is quietly waiting for 3D reality to confirm something that they hope is true. They're using the same words, completely different energetic signals, completely different outcomes. Now, let me break this down with a little bit more context and let me show you what this would look like. Let's say person A, for example, they don't have a really strong self concept. Their self concept really needs some work. They're working on it. They've been told to watch all their words, so they go policing and managing every internal statement and external statement that they say. They catch themselves saying, it's not here yet, and then immediately try to correct and say, no, it's here now. I have it now. But I hope you can see and hear that that correction feels really forced, because a 3D reality would be showing them something completely different. Their circumstances have not changed and or moved. And now that level of inner self-talk is just driving them chaotic because it's ruining their self-concept. And they're frustrated because of the contradiction to what they're saying versus what they're seeing. They start to lose their momentum. They start to crumble. They start folding, and they start collapsing on themselves and giving away their power, not taking hold of the power that they actually have. And that delay, that illusion of separation gets even stronger. Now let's take person two. Their self-concept, solid as fuck. Their conviction is unshakable. Their self-concept is unmovable. They're not going to move it for anybody. They know they are the king or queen. They know they are the I am. They're the great I am, that there is no one better than them. They know that, and they live that. So this person could say, yeah, the money's not here yet. I don't know when it comes. I just know that it comes. I don't even care how it comes. I don't even care when it comes. I just know that it comes. I'm so far removed from giving a shit how it shows up. I just know that it does. And notice that statement of person B does not create any delay. There is no illusion of separation. They could care less of what is happening outside, because the only lens they're looking through is the God lens of seeing reality as always working in their favor. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. They know they get it no matter what, because the identity of their I am is knowing it's already done. Nothing can stop them from getting it. Nothing can get in the way of them receiving what belongs to them, what is already theirs. They're not waiting for proof. They're not looking out in the illusionary world to prove anything to them. They are already living as who they are in their I am, already living that and embodying that identity of someone that whom wealth will materialize always, effortlessly. Doesn't matter how, it just does. It just shows up without question. And notice how person A and person B use the exact same words, but one creates delay and one doesn't. The difference isn't the language or the words that they chose to speak or not speak. It's in their self-concept, their frequency, their state of consciousness from which those words came from. And here's where a lot of people get stuck, and I mean stuck in a way that compounds on itself. When you let the implications of the words that you speak louder than your identity, when the feeling of it's not here yet carries more weight than your actual self-concept, you fall into that quicksand. And we all know what quicksand does. The dangerous part about quicksand is the more that you struggle against it, the deeper you go in it. Every time that you try to fix your words without fixing the self-concept underneath, you've already reinforced the gap. You've already reinforced that delay. Because what you have to understand is that the subconscious mind accepts what you repeatedly feel as true. Not what you say, it's what you feel. And if your dominant feeling state underneath all your affirmations and techniques is one of lack, of waiting, and of hoping that the 3D reality will eventually shift and prove something to you, that is the frequency that you're emitting out into the universe. And that is your signal. That is your vibration. That is what materializes. And you don't escape this quicksand by managing and policing your words. You escape it by building a self concept so solid that any implication of any word, of any phrase, any outside circumstance or condition cannot move you or shake you. It cannot move you or shake you from the identity that you've already assumed, the I am that you've already declared and claimed. So, as promised, here's the actual mindset shift that will change and stop your delays from materializing. Stop managing your words and implications and start with your conviction. Start building your conviction. Start having a conviction that's unpenetrable. Stop trying to say your way into being. Stop trying to look for the perfect words that's going to make it come about, and just be the I am. Be the identity now. Be the I am who has it all now. Stop trying to do it with words and speech, because once you focus on just being the I am with that level of conviction, everything else focuses on you, and the words, they just take care of themselves. Because when your self-concept is truly solid and your state of consciousness is genuinely like operating at a frequency of the identity of the I am that you've already assumed, you can say anything you want. The words stop mattering at that point because the energetic charge within is already broadcasting out into the universe the right and correct signal. You're not waiting for the manifestation and your desire to come to fruition. You're not watching 3D reality for any confirmation, proof, and or evidence of it. You're not using outside circumstances as some kind of metric or grading tool to see if your inner work is working or not. You're just being the I am, every aspect of it, fully embodying it at all times, being unshakable, unmovable, in the purest conviction and the knowing of it just already done, and you can care less. And it's from that state of consciousness, that frequency, that's where the delay doesn't even exist. No separation at all. Because delay would require a gap of where you are versus where you want to be. And when you've genuinely assumed the identity of the I am that already has it all, genuinely, literally, genuinely have assumed it, and you live that, the self-concept is so solid that that gap of delay just doesn't exist anymore. The delay, the illusion of the separation of it, was never in your words. It was never in your affirmations. It was in the gap between what you're saying and what you actually believe about yourself in your self-concept. Close that gap, not with better language, but with unshakable self-concept. That gap just collapses. You already do have it now in your state of consciousness, in your frequency, in the energetic charge within that you're already broadcasting out into the universe right now. And I want you to hear me on this. The universe has never had the power of choice because you are the universe itself. You have carried that power of choice this entire time. And I want you to look at as be it before the world proves it to you. Instead of saying that, I want you to look at it like this. Give it to yourself and the world gives it to you. Now, there is no implications other than I give it to myself because I know that I am, and I know that the world gives it to me because I am that I am. So I'm going to say that one more time. Give it to yourself and the world gives it to you. Now, recognizing the friction between your words and the state of consciousness is an intellectual win. But your subconscious mind doesn't care about intellect. It cares about your inner conviction. To have the conviction of self-concept so strong that no circumstance, no illusionary 3D conditions, no piece of any external evidence can move you from the identity you've assumed. If you're ready to stop performing and start being, then you really need to understand what identity under pressure looks like. You need to know why the moment reality pushes back is the most important moment in your whole entire reality creation process. And I made a video specifically covering this, about what identity under pressure actually looks like, and why the moment things get really hard and that pressure and reality really start screaming at you in all these different ways that are unpleasing to your story and to your truth, and why this is the most important time for your true identity to take place. You can find that video up here. Go ahead and click that, and I'll see you over there.